Hey folks, it's Aaron Halverson with Wine Hills Winery and Vineyards. I'm out here today on a beautiful day in November. Lovely view, lovely weather. I'm actually in short sleeves in November 9th. And have a project that I'm working on here. I got an excavator and we're gonna try transplanting vines. We have these lovely Marquette vines that are right at our view, and these Marquette vines make a wonderful dry red wine, and we hate to lose them, but we have big plans for up there where the picnic tables are on the ridge top that overlooks this amazing view. Look at the sun rays there of the Wisconsin River Valley. And so we have a project, a kind of an experiment, to be honest. We're going to be moving these vines, attempting to move these Marquette vines to another area of the vineyard where they can thrive, because it's become apparent that this area is going to need to be, basically cleared for our building site, where we're hoping to have a new tasting room on the top of the hilltop. And then you'll see, this area coming down towards me and back behind will be a lower patio. And we just need more room. It's just kind of narrow. That there will eventually be a road heading back to some cabins that we have planned to be built back behind those pine trees. So big plans out here, but we also need to continue to make wonderful wines, and to do that we need to try to salvage our Marquette vines. Obviously we could buy Marquette, we could buy new vines, small vines, and plant them, but it takes 5 years to get any real production out of newly planted little vines that we would buy. So I'm trying to cut corners, I guess, and use these vines that we'd be ripping out anyway and transplanting them. And the hope is, I don't have much for expectations for the first year, for next year, where they'll begin to kind of take root, and we chop off a lot to do this. But the hope is, like in that second year, that they're kind of back to where they were recently, basically full grown. These vines are, you'll see kind of in the vineyard right below us there. I'm guessing around 8 or 9 years. We've only owned this place for 3, and I know they were younger, but they were productive even our first year we owned them. And so in human years, an 8-year-old vine is, like maybe in its late 20s or 30s. So it's got a lot of life left, and we're hoping to move it and utilize it and, basically jump ahead 3 years in production. So it's going to be interesting. So what we're doing here is we've chopped off both cordons of the vine and left kind of some spurs there. Maybe I left them a little longer than I had read that, this is supposedly possible. I've seen this. I don't think it's real common, but, so I'm supposed to leave basically cut the cordons off, which is the long growth on each side of a trunk, and which I've done. And then I've left kind of some spurs there with some buds. Those little buds there will shoot off and have, that's where the leaves will grow, and even fruit. Not that I'm expecting much fruit the first year. So the thought is we rip up the vine and dig a hole and then plant it in another location, and hopefully it will take. So here I am trying to dig up this vine. Good, I'll start pulling it up. There's some serious roots there. Well, it was painful to do it, but all of the vines on this row are ripped out. Daylight's a waste in here. I don't know, I've probably only have about an hour and a half of daylight, maybe less. So I'm going to basically cut the roots to a manageable size and load it up into my mule trailer and get it moved to the other place. All right, vines are pulled. We have about 20 to 25. There was a couple that were actually dead. Would have been replaced this year. And we're off to take these to dig holes and plant them next to some Marquette vines that we just planted this spring. By the way, I'm out here working now as you are watching, and it's really shaping up to be a wonderful sunset. Couldn't ask for better weather or views. Whew, okay, that was tiring. Holes dug for transplant. I did use the excavator, but you know, it's 12-inch bucket. Hard to kind of precisely dig a hole that's meant for a plant. So I went back through and I kind of hand dug to fine tune it. You know, I basically broke it up and dug somewhat with the excavator and then did the rest of it by hand. So now I'm tired. So now it's time to put a little fertilizer. Each of the holes, we use an organic and natural fertilizer. It's a fruit tree fertilizer, but also for grapes. And I think it's mostly made, I know it's got bone meal, which is something we always use when we're planting. Feather meal, fish bone meal, alfalfa meal. So it's got some good stuff in there. So I'm gonna mix this into each of the holes and then put the plant in, cover it, and then probably sprinkle some more on top and kind of mix that in too. So it'll have some fertilizer for, you know, the next year or so. So here I go. Not a lot of daylight left, and I can't really see the sunset from here, although it might be kind of neat, but I have to get to work. All right, folks, one done. Not a lot of daylight. I'm not sure what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna keep trying to get this done. Maybe I'll use my flashlight, but let me just show you. So there we have it. I put a rebar stake in the ground by the trellis, buried vine. You know, we'll see how it goes. If these 20 vines work, that one row that we transplanted down here, there's several more rows that we might need to transplant depending on how things go with our construction in the future. So stay tuned. Hopefully this works out and we have great Marquette sooner than we would have otherwise. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye. Things always take longer than you think they will, but I did it.